Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, former US envoy for Haiti, Dan Ford, has said that William Ruto's only interest in the Haiti mission is money and not helping the people of Haiti. He says that even if William Ruto doubles or triples the number of policemen who are supposed to be deployed in Haiti, nothing is going to come out of it in terms of a win for him. He goes further to say that the only interest that Ruto has is money. So he was saying this when he was being interviewed in a CNN, one of the CNN sessions. So this interview was directly on him to shed more lights on the prospects of Kenya containing the issue of Haiti. So he went further to say that he doesn't see Kenya going anywhere near winning that battle because Kenya's interest is only money. He talked about previously troops of 20,000 or 30,000 have been deployed there, but none of them has managed to contain the situation. So Kenya is no exception. So I'd like to share this segment of Dan Ford talking about Kenya's little chances of containing the situation in Haiti. But before you do that, please let me encourage you to support this channel by subscribing, liking and sharing our video. Those who supported us before, thank you so much for that support. So listen to what Dan Ford said.
Of the Kenyan forces, clearly also from my colleague Lara Madowo from Kenya, and on that deployment of the Kenyan forces. Clearly, not everyone, Ambassador, at home there agrees with this deployment. Just from the number of troops there, 1,000, is that even going to cut it? Just talk to the challenges, even the risks in your view.
1,000 isn't going to cut it. And while they have commitments for double or triple that, that's still not going to cut it. Every time there's been a military intervention into Haiti in the past 30 years, it's had a minimum of 20,000 troops or police going in there. You see the reticence on the part of the Kenyan public to send these guys, and that makes me nervous. I believe this is more of a cash grab by President Ruto, whose country would receive a lot of money for doing this. But the Haitians are well armed, and if the international community imposes this new CARICOM government construct, they're going to fight the Kenyans to the death.
Very well. That is what he said regarding the move of William Samoei Ruto to be very enthusiastic in this Haiti mission. You already know that US has not sent money for that mission, and recently US Congress stopped assistance or stopped the funding for Kenya. And that was after a move by the Foreign Affairs PS, who said that Kenya will have to stop this process of deployment of police. But that was a contradictory statement to what the CS for Interior Security said, Professor Kithure Kindiki, who said they will go on with the deployment whether people like it or not. So there were two statements from the same government. So I think this is the reason why the US Congress looked at the whole matter and said that these Kenya people are trying to play with us. So that's why they stopped the funding. Of course, you also know that in Haiti, recently there have been escalated attacks on the gangs, and it's alleged that civilians have ganged up with some external forces to fight these gangs through the use of vigilantes. One of the leaders, understand, was shot, one of the gang leaders. But you see, you understand that the way this gang has been framed is that it's a network of gangs. There are so many gangs which have amalgamated to form one network of gang, which is led by Barbecue. And Barbecue is a person that is being watched by the whole world in this issue of Haiti. I think he's a person who can decide to either end this crisis or fuel the crisis. So I think this time he has chosen to fuel the crisis, and this crisis has gone to a level where by now the external forces have also beefed up their attack on them, and they have devised a way of containing these gangs by working with the locals. There are so many locals who have decided to now work with these external forces to, as in the capacity of vigilante, to be able to contain the gangs. So this statement by Dan Fort, the US Special Envoy in Haiti, the former, I think it's not something that we can just ignore. He knows so much about Haiti than even William Ruto, because he was the special person who was assigned the role of dealing with the crisis of Haiti. So he understands the terrain, he understands so many things about what is happening, the policy there, and the genesis of all these problems. So he understands the bigger picture or the bigger story of this Haiti crisis better than even Kenyans. You know, people like this CSS, what they do is that they just push the agenda of the president. And if the president said, we want 1,000 policemen to go there, they are not supposed to say no. What they are supposed to do is to continue pushing for that agenda, pushing for it to a level whereby the matter will be settled. I want to remind you about what happened previously, when I think Maraga talked about police who had died for that during that mission of Haiti. There's a story that surfaced that a police had died, and Maraga brought this topic to the limelight for people to understand. There is also that as a result of that, there are so many policemen who have said they are not comfortable going there. So many policemen have rejected that move to, I think, to be deployed to that crisis, to Haiti, because none of them want to lose their lives. They have families. That's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. And if the people like Barbecue are saying that ukikuja hapa, that would be like a death trap, I don't think a policeman would want to go there, considering the fact that those people have already declared that it's going to be a fight to the last drop. That's not going to happen for them. That's why I think that is the reason why the deployment have been slowed down. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of this sudden statement that was exposed by the CNN through Dan Fort, the former US Special Envoy to Haiti? What he said, and if he said that Ruto's interest is only money, and that means he knows that the terrain there is not friendly for the Kenyan police. Now, the Kenyan police will just go there and be butchered for nothing. That is what he says. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to raise my case there, but perhaps if you watch this video and you have not subscribed, please take 1 second and subscribe to this channel, like this video. So until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.